So I want to be clear, until you can look forward and believe in the promise and the prosperity of Britain again, then this government will fight for you.
Anybody in the country is not untouched by what happened yesterday.
You've talked about making tackling knife crime a moral mission for your government.
Have you ever seen a politician completely lose control of a room? Last night, Keir Starmer walked into what should have been a standard interview and walked out with his reputation in tatters. From confident entrance to humiliating exit, we've analysed every painful moment of this political car crash. The exact second when the audience turned on him will shock even his harshest critics, and it reveals everything about why his leadership is now hanging by a thread. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video.
We have a clear plan for change. 1.5 million new homes, restoring the dream of home ownership.
What happens when a politician's carefully constructed facade shatters in real time? Last night, we witnessed exactly that, as Keir Starmer's polished political persona crumbled before our eyes. His entrance initially seemed textbook, the press suit, rehearsed talking points about moving the country forward. But the audience wasn't buying what he was selling. You could feel the tension in that room before he'd even finished his opening remarks. The crossed arms, raised eyebrows, and knowing glances exchanged between audience members signalled trouble brewing. These weren't the usual hand-picked supporters or deferential journalists. These were ordinary people who came ready to challenge political doublespeak.
Is that because you fear failure?
No, Beth, the way we've constructed it is that there are foundational things that a government must do. Are fully costed and fully funded. And that means no tax rises for working people. We're not going to be raising tax on working people.
As the interview progressed, the first hairline cracks in Starmer's composure began to show. His weight shifted nervously from foot to foot as he sensed the growing hostility. His knuckles whitened as he gripped the podium tighter, a physical manifestation of his increasing anxiety. The downward glances became more frequent, a classic tell of someone who's losing confidence in their position.
Tax to record levels. They have broken their promises, and it is the working people of this country that are going to pay the price.
Children starting school ready to learn. A more secure energy system.
Then came the immigration question that shattered the facade completely. Starmer's usually fluid delivery hit a wall. He froze, visibly caught between his past statements and current policy positions. What followed was painful to watch, a stammering, hollow response that generated audible murmurs of discontent from the audience. His desperate attempt to pivot only dug the hole deeper. "I know, but you're not listening to what I'm saying," he protested, a remarkable statement that essentially blamed the audience for his inability to provide a straightforward answer. It was the defensive reaction of a politician unaccustomed to being truly challenged, and it backfired spectacularly. What happened next marked a fascinating power shift in political discourse. Where professional journalists might have moved on or accepted his non-answer, ordinary citizens weren't having it. Someone shouted, "Answer the question!" A moment that crystallised the evening's dynamic.
Immigration reduced. Neighbourhood police tackling antisocial behaviour in every community. And more cash in your pocket.
The authority in that room had transferred from the politician to the people, and Starmer looked utterly unprepared for this new reality. The free speech contradiction exposed another gaping hole in Starmer's credibility. He stood there claiming to support free expression, while his government's Online Safety Act imposes strict regulations on speech. The audience's reaction was visceral as they processed this hypocrisy in real time. How can you champion free speech when nearly 300 people have been charged for online speech crimes since last October under your watch? His economic promises faced equally brutal scrutiny. Pre-election Starmer confidently promised no tax hikes. Yet taxes were now set to increase. The contrast between those bold campaign statements and his weak defensive responses when confronted with this reality was stark.
Anybody in the country is not untouched by what happened yesterday.
You've talked about making tackling knife crime a moral mission for your government.
Fine, can we just...
Do you understand?
Shall we go on
in? Thousands of people have died because you have failed to do your job and asked the real question.
The audience's scepticism was palpable as they witnessed the gap between political promises and political actions laid bare. Perhaps the most devastating moment came when someone in the audience muttered loudly enough for the microphones to pick up. "This is embarrassing." That simple statement captured the collective sentiment in the room. It wasn't just criticism of Starmer's answers. It was a judgment on his entire performance, his leadership, his authenticity. And that's when we witnessed the exact second when Starmer completely lost his composure. The nervous sip of water. The forehead wipe that betrayed his mounting anxiety. The darting eyes scanning the room for any friendly face or escape route. These weren't the actions of a confident leader. They were the reflexes of someone cornered, exposed, and desperately trying to regain control of a situation that had spiralled beyond his grasp.
So I want to be clear. Until you can look forward and believe in the promise and the prosperity of Britain again, then this government will fight for you. Is obvious, but border security is equally obvious in my view, and that's why I've said we are committed to bringing down immigration.
What we witnessed last night has sent shockwaves through the political landscape. The interview didn't just go poorly, it's metastasised into a social media phenomenon, with clips of Starmer's stammering economic explanations set to circus music, garnering millions of views. This isn't the kind of viral moment any politician wants. Behind closed doors, the panic is palpable. Party insiders are scrambling, with some privately admitting the interview was nothing short of a disaster, while public-facing representatives attempt to downplay it as merely a challenging moment. Their damage control efforts, emphasising honesty and tough questioning, ring hollow as Starmer's credibility hemorrhages before our eyes.
I'm convinced that if we can show that politics can change Britain for the better, then we can face the future with confidence. That I should have stayed in my Kentish Town home and disrupted my son's GCSEs, that was the right thing to do, then I think you should put that to me.
This humiliation offers a rare, unfiltered glimpse into the reality behind the polished political veneer. When the carefully constructed narrative falls apart, we see more truth in those unscripted minutes than in months of managed appearances. The circus music says it all.